Hello, everybody. Haven't seen you guys in a while. Then, of course, I'm not actually seeing you, am I? Well, anyways, this is one of the videos that I wanted to get up. I listed in my coming soon post. It's basically terrain that I'm working on for my local game store in an attempt to sort of get both a summer league / tournament going on, as well as sort of rejuvenate the community in the store because it's come close to dying off completely. It's been like 2.5 months, or maybe two months since I've seen a single game of War Machine or Hordes in the store. So hopefully something can be done about that. But one of the things I wanted to get done was get some terrain built. So this is the first thing I wanted to work on, which is just hills. I went on to the Steamroller organized play rules, and under the terrain section it suggests that terrain shouldn't be too small or too large, and the terrain size that they give is basically between 4 and 7 inches wide and long. So what I did was I have this this 3/4 inch insulation pink foam. You know, you guys have seen it before, the Owens Corning stuff. And I have my new hot wire cutter. I had this exact same one before, but it stopped working, probably because I banged it around too much and probably damaged some of the components. But anyways, so what I did was I measured out I decided I'm going to do a 12 4x7s, and then 12 5x5s. So you get some that are rectangular and some that are circular, and that's 24 hills. So we usually have, let me think real quick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 10 games going on in the store when we were in our prime. So I figure 2 or 3 hills per table. I mean, that's between 24 and 30, so 24 should cut it. If we max out, we might have to use some of the older stuff, or maybe I'll make some new ones if we really get things going again. But essentially what I was doing, like I said, this is 3/4 inch. So what I was doing was I was cutting out the hill as a 4x7, just, roughly. And that gets you a shape roughly like this. Obviously, I've modified it a lot, but you get something about that size. Imagine these sides were smooth and this was one piece. Then what I realized, and I'm really glad I figured this out because I love the way it's working, is, if I can hold my camera without getting my finger in the way, I'll just use my right hand, so the wire cutter, right? If you look at the top here, you can see that the wire stops about, to me it looked like 1/4 inch from the top, which turns out it is. I measured it. It's 1/4 inch. So take the wire cutter, turn it on, put it upside down, flat on the table like this, and apply pressure, which keeps the wire taut, which is great. And that means there's exactly 1/4 inch of space beneath that wire. So then, essentially, while holding it like that, and of course now I can't do this with 2 hands, or can I? Oh, almost. All right. Holding it like that, taking this, and sort of applying pressure and sliding it through like this, basically cuts it at exactly 1/4 inch, which, coincidentally, was the height that I wanted these to be, because even though they are hills, and I realize you don't get as visually pleasing an effect when a hill isn't significantly larger, the fact that these edges are both beveled and only 1/4 inch means you can balance a model, is a small base, Ersk, or Irusk, or Ersk, however you guys want to say his name. I've never heard anyone decide. You can fit him on there however you need to. So small bases are fine. And here's my Gudrun. Medium bases are fine. No tipping. He's either on or he's off. Nothing's going to fall over. You're not going to break any models. Do I have a large base lying around? I do. A little rock ram action. So, no issue. Halfway, most of the way, he'll fit, Nothing will tip. You can get, for those annoying times where you have like a unit in shield wall and you need to sort of keep stuff paired up and you want to put them on the edge of a hill and they're all starting to tip and fall over. Then you got to do that like, oh, it's I'm going to put it here so it doesn't fall, but it's really here. And then, of course, somebody shoots an AoE, and then it turns into an argument of, well, you said you were here, and no, I said I was there, and it just gets really annoying. So having hills where you can actually place things where they're supposed to be or where you want them to be seemed like a really, really helpful thing. So I figured to go with 1/4 inch, and like I said, the little wire cutter trick with the 3/4 inch styrofoam works out beautifully. So what I did was I basically made 4 of the, 4 of the cutouts, which were all 3/4 of an inch and 4x7s with the slightly beveled edge. And then I ran them all through my sort of hot wire sawmill to cut them all down to 1/4 inch slabs. So it's a tiny bit less than 3/4 of an inch, than a 1/4 inch. So maybe it's like 3/16 or something like that, but it's pretty damn close. So what happened was by the time I shave off the 3rd one, I actually have a tiny, this is what's left. Actually, this way. That's what's left. And as you can see, it's really, I mean, this is like a 1/16 of an inch. So it's paper thin. So that, just gets tossed, whatever. But you wind up with these lovely hills. So these are my 12 for the hills, for the rectangular, the 4x7s. And also you can see I took the wire cutter and just to add a little something. I realize it's nothing spectacular, but you put like the notches in the top around the edges. It just sort of helps it look not so artificial. It gives it some, I'm not doing anything as fancy as what I could do or what I've seen done. It's not the greatest terrain ever, but like I said, it's me doing it to donate to the store and to get things going. And I think once it's painted up and I base the top of it, it'll look really nice. I was also contemplating putting maybe some more effect on top of the, I don't want to say larger because there's really not that much of a difference. But of course, because it was beveled before I started cutting, there is a size difference between this one and this one. It's like a total of a 1/2 inch difference width and length. But I was thinking on the largest of the 3 of each of the 4 sets, putting something on the top, like a small pile of rocks or like, a little lump here, like take some foam and cut out like a little wall here or something like that, or, rocks along this edge, or something like that. But I also don't want to make any part of the hill inaccessible or unusable, because what I've noticed, or what I noticed when I started cutting these is compared to the terrain that we currently have at my store, from what I can remember, because like I said, so damn long ago, is we had much larger hills. We had, let me take my ruler here, my lovely 18-inch steel ruler, and take a quick look at this. Yeah, we probably had on average 8 to 10-inch diameter round hills. And that's another thing I noticed. A lot of the hills in the store were almost perfect circles. So, though, that's fine, not necessarily the most visually appealing, and also not realistic, and thirdly, they take up a lot of table space. A 10-inch round hill is, that's huge. That's you put that in the middle of the board, and that's almost the entire kill zone. Granted, you're not supposed to put terrain within 3 inches of other pieces of terrain, or within 4 inches of a flag, or within 2 inches of an objective. So if you're playing a steamroller scenario, a 10-inch diameter hill is like, you're not going to fit that anywhere. So yeah, so hopefully these will work out. Like I said, I just bought some simple, regular whatever latex or whatever it is, brown paint that I'm going to do these in, and then give them a nice dry brush around the edges and some on the top just to give them some effect, and then base the top with flock. I was thinking about maybe doing something a little heavier than flock, because I have like medium grain flock. I was thinking about maybe doing like some, not sand, I don't know. I was thinking kitty litter. They have that coarse kitty litter, the pebble-like stuff. And you do that, and then you dry brush that, and you get a really nice rocky effect. But I don't know how that's going to work with models. I don't know if it's going to chip people's bases, moving them across it, or make it hard to place things. Because like I said, the idea of these was to make them easy to use and make placing models on them very easy. So making the tops rough like that might be kind of counterintuitive to my plan. But yeah, so that's these. I'm going to get started on the round ones. And yeah, once those are done, I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to do forests the same way. I was thinking of doing forests like this, and then also making some trees. I watched a couple nice videos on how to make trees using wire and pulled apart like hay baling rope. and then you basically spin the wire and it spins the hay bale stuff. And there's a couple good videos. Maybe I'll put a link to the one that I found because I think it was really good and it doesn't look too expensive and it's simple enough to do. But yeah, I was thinking about making some trees for the forest and then making the forest like this, you know, 1/4-inch styrofoam cutout with a smoother edge. Obviously, I wouldn't put the cuts in it, and I would keep the edge as smooth as possible, just to sort of help differentiate. And then also putting like 2 magnets, say for example, like an earth magnet, flat rounds, like here and here, and then on the bottom of the trees put the same magnets. So the trees, you know, you get trees like, you know, that tall, and so when this is on the board, you get a really nice visual effect. It's very obvious that it's a forest. You know, keep the trees spaced far apart enough that you could still fit a medium or a small through there, or, you know, a unit if you weren't trying to keep them clustered together. But then at the same time, if you do need to put a lot of models on that, or if you do need to fit something that doesn't fit, you just pop the trees right off and they're just on magnets, and you lay them to the side of the board, and then the magnets are flush, so you can put models right on top of them. So I think that would be really nice. So that's why I was thinking about maybe doing the forest out of styrofoam as well. However, obviously it would be a lot easier and quicker to just do them out of green felt. However, I don't have any green felt at the time, and I have tons of styrofoam. Then, you know, on the other side, I don't have the magnets or the material to make the trees, though I really would like to, and I think they look really good. So it'd be a little more time and effort, but I'm thinking of doing it that way. Because, I mean, for styrofoam, I have, you can see back here, I have... yeah, all this, because it was a 4x8 sheet that we snapped. No, was it a 4x8? Yeah, 4x8 sheet that we snapped in half and then snapped each half in half. Yep, that makes sense. So each of these is a... No, it must have been a 2x8. No. Yeah, it was a 2x8. 2x8, and we snapped it in half you know, halfway and then halfway again. So these are 2x2 sheets, which is the same that those are sitting on. That's also a 2x2 sheet. And I still have a ton of that. Like I will definitely get all the remaining hills done off of this and still have plenty left over. I also want to do walls. I'm basically trying to get all of the official, not official, but like the terrain that would be ideal as suggested by Privateer Press. That's why I looked up, you know, the 4x7 inch range. So these are going to be the 4x7s and the 5x5 rounds for the other hills. And then I'm going to do the same dimensions for forests. A couple, you know, a decent amount of each 4x7 and 5x5. And then I'm also going to do walls. I wanted to do maybe 2 types of walls. I'm not sure how to do those though, because there's no description of how to do those in the book or on the on Steamroller. Obviously, you know, like wall of stone, that has a length, and or a stone wall and flame wall or wall of fire, whatever it is. Those have a length and a size, but players usually bring their own if they're playing a warlock or warcaster that uses those. So, and also I like the I kind of like the sandbag walls that you can do. You know, if you take clay and roll it out and then sort of just chop it into those little blobby sandbags and stack them up. I think that looks really good. Then I have to go get clay, and I'm not practiced with clay. And I have all this foam. I'm trying to stick to that. So I'm probably going to do some rocky type walls. More like farm walls than like army assembled barriers or anything like that, you know, sort of just like if you were fighting along a field and like there was a farm on one end of the field, they do those little field stone walls, you know, probably something like that, which will still apply cover. I mean, and they're easy enough because that's a 6 foot tall man, right? So he's 6 feet, you probably have those walls. Those walls are probably 2 to 3 feet tall. So if he's roughly 4 millimeters high, 4 centimeters high, you're talking a 2 centimeter tall wall, which is approximately ½ an inch. So very easy to do. All right, so back to what I was saying. Sorry, I got distracted with a phone call and answering the doorbell. What I'm probably going to do for walls is, because this is 3/4 inch foam, basically, like, say I wanted a straight wall, just cut that off here, And then take that, and because it's 3/4 inch, if I run it through the inverted wire cutter, that'll take a 1/4 inch off, leaving me with a little over 1/2 inch, because like I said, this is almost 1/4 inch. So it'll leave me a little over 1/2 inch, which is good because 2 centimeters is a little over 1/2 inch. So that'll give me perfect height for my walls. And I'm probably going to do some straight and some L-shaped, probably 10 of each, because that'll work out to roughly 2 walls per table if we're running 10 games. So yeah, that'll be hills, forests, and walls. And I'm probably going to steer clear of doing any trenches or any water effects for now. Water effects, I've never seen a cheap or easy way to do, and even the ones that cost money and are time consuming don't always come out great. Like I know you can get like the what's it called, like scenic forest scenic stuff, the water in a bottle, or the 2-part water that you mix together, and sometimes that doesn't come out right, and you have to do it in multiple layers and let it dry for hours in between, and it's a huge process. And to be honest, I don't know anybody that really likes playing with water. It's like the only overpowered terrain. You knock stuff down in it, and it's like, you know, oh, I knocked over your 11-point jack with this one easy model that can just do headbutt, and it's gone. You know, like, it's just crazy. So in the future I may, but for now I'm not going to bother with it. Also, trenches. I've never seen a way to do trenches that looks good, that isn't huge. I've seen some that look great, but the problem is they wind up being the centerpiece of the entire board. Like, you basically have to build a board just to put trenches in to make them look good, which is awesome if you have no problem with playing the same board over and over, and if you're not trying to run any sort of scenarios that aren't designed around trenches. But if those are the things you're trying to do, which is basically what I'm trying to do, you know, casual play and steamroller style play, you're not going to use a trench board every time. So there's really no good way to do trenches. I mean, you can do a hill. I mean, you guys might have seen it. It's like a hill that just sort of comes up this way, and then there's the trench cut in the middle, and then you put like planks on the inside and planks on the inside of the other one, and then there's another hill on this side that comes down like that. So you're basically just building a thick hill and then chopping a row out of the middle of it to make the trench. But that just looks silly when you just have like 1 inch tall hill that's like, I don't know, what are you going to do, like 10 inches wide? So you have just a random trench in the middle of nowhere that is open on both ends. I don't know, it seems odd. I've never liked the way they look. And also, to make those nice interior looking walls, you need balsa wood strips or popsicle sticks, and I don't have any of that. So, and again, not a super popular terrain effect with my local meta. So probably not going to bother with either water or trenches for now. Maybe in the future. But anyways, yeah, so I'm going to get the round hills done. I'm going to start on the forest, which now I'm pretty certain, now that I sort of talked to you guys about it, I'm pretty sure that I want to do it with foam and just make those trees and do the magnet thing. So yeah, so maybe I'll do another video once I get everything done and cut out, and then maybe another after painting and everything's complete. So I will talk to you guys later, and you all have a good day.